Hey friends, it's 4:02 in the morning in Tokyo, and I got a lot on my mind, so let me pop you on my head and we'll get to work on today's run. So today we're gonna run, I don't know, as far as I feel like it. I got the Tokyo Legacy Half Marathon in 10 weeks, which is kind of an awkward distance, or time distance from today, based on like kind of where I'm trained up to. So I don't really know what to do. I'm somewhere between 5 and 6 right now. Let's hit my run. Let me flip my battery back in my pocket and start workout. Let's open up YouTube and wearing new shoes, which is a very real factor. You typically, I mean, you're welcome to debate me on this. I typically don't like to go very far in new shoes. And today's supposed to be a long run, but I would like to keep it as light as I could. Let's see if this is working. Yo, somebody's already. What? 1 second. Good morning. But yeah, I woke up at like 3:15 today, naturally, and I was like, well, normally don't swear on this channel, but I was like, well, it's Monday. I got shit to do, I guess. It's like, I might as well just start the run early and get to the other stuff. Distract myself with productivity. Turn on brightness. Whew. It's very bright. It's a little dark, Looking forward to see the sky light up. Oh yeah, you should get a sunrise, Norman. How's it going, friend? Yeah, I was up a little bit late too. Me and Felicia were doing what we call sprint planning. I got another one of those videos dropping today if you're interested. Basically, Norman, you should know this because, well, maybe not. I don't know when they teach this in college, but there's something called agile methodology. And I will start off with the premise that it's not perfect. And I don't think there's a single perfect project management technique or style. Like, the reality is everything takes time, and no matter how hard you try to accelerate stuff, it's still going to be a little bit tricky. So we tilt it to the right. But agile Scrum, that's nice today. Agile Scrum methodology basically is like optimized for programmers, and it's a means of breaking down tasks into their smallest component, and then your team commits to a series of small tasks over the course of a sprint. Sprint can be 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. It depends on kind of the culture of your team, the pacing and means of your collaboration. So for instance, I had like a volunteer army kind of team where it's like people dedicate 5 to 10% of their full-time effort whew, towards what we were working on. And we did like monthly sprints because I didn't want to have weekly stand-up meetings because people are busy. So we did things bi-weekly to connect, and you just trust that people are adults and they're gonna get their work done little by little. But Norman, I would highly suggest you at least watch a couple YouTube videos on agile and sprint methodology. And the reason being, in your academic studies, they're likely pushing, you know, the right methodologies for crafting an algorithm, which I won't negate that. That's very important. But for all your, we used to call them MPs or master projects, for all your larger coding projects, if you know how to break them down into smaller user stories, stack them in order, and bring your code to life incrementally, you're probably going to have a better outcome, and it'll save you some time. The cicadas are out today. People arriving at my house. Gonna take a second away. It's all good, friend. You know, congratulations on, I think you're going into your junior year and you already own a house that you're bringing people over. That's amazing. How did you find a way to finance your college and start rolling in the dough to purchase a home in this market? Now I know the US market's quite volatile right now. I'm not sure about the UK, but still super cool. Eliza! My life is better because Eliza's in it. How's it going, friend? Good morning. Welcome to our, today it's a 4 a.m. run. So we'll see how this thing goes. We're in new shoes. That's the first challenge. I haven't made a post about it yet, but is that a cop? Okay, just random stoplights. Nice. Be careful, there's a fence up here. Careful, fence. Look out, it's a fence. Thank you for the warning. Oh no, my parents are right back with some people. I know, right? At the house you purchased. What is it, crypto? Bet it's crypto. Well done, Lucius. It's going great. Nice to meet you, Norman. Oh, I'm so happy the two of you get to connect. Norman is good people. He's studying computer science in the United Kingdom. Very solid, wonderful person. And just a genuine blessing having him in our community. So, and Norman, for your context, Eliza does artwork. I'm trying to remember the exact kinds of artwork she does. I do know she doesn't put stuff out online because she's been robbed. Like, people have plagiarized her work. I couldn't remember if Eliza's also studying while doing art, or just full-time art, or some kind of hybrid. But either way, you've both been in our community for a reasonable amount of time, so it's nice to bring you on an adventure. What is it, 4:10 in the morning? I don't know, we're maybe 0.4 miles into this, or like 0.9 kilometers. Still waiting for Norman to get me some kind of conversion API on my streams, that every time I say something in miles, it converts it to kilometers. I have started 3rd year, which is a placement year. Ooh, currently an internship at a startup. Nice. I'm gonna found one of those working on it. This week, one of the goals is to breathe. Now this week, one of the goals is to update my application to the Shibuya startup program, so I'm hopefully gonna be a founder. Oh man, in Japanese we would say mushiatsui, which means it's like, it's thick and hot, like the air is just sticky. It's dreadful. Each day we're hitting about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know, 80 degrees Celsius. I'm just kidding, it's like 39 or 40, I think. I don't know, you can only get so high in Celsius. As high as you can go. I do digital mainly. Started putting more artwork. Currently going into my first year. I'm not ready at all. Is that high school? I apologize. Sometimes it's hard for me to read chat while running because I'm kind of bouncing. I will say, these shoes, they have a peculiar bounce to them. Whew. But we should get to catch a sunrise at our favorite bridge, so I hope you're looking forward to that. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar it's tomorrow. Whew. Now technically on paper these are road shoes, yet this is a trail, and I've been researching that you should get different shoes depending on if you run on the road or on a trail, but there's no guidelines for when your work is split between road and trail. And I'm a size 13 US. They don't carry 13s in Japan. And I just blew out my last pair of runners. Like literally I ran 8 miles. After the run I checked my shoes and the side of my foot was busting out of the side. Like it tore the seam. It's amazing how far adrenaline could take you. And it was peculiar because anytime I stepped on a rock on the outside of my foot, I was like, oh my god, why does it hurt so much? Do I have an injury? Is there something wrong with my foot? And I was like, no, you're literally just running on rocks. Like the outside of my foot was outside the safety of my soles. Well, that's correct. I need to do YouTube bot. Working steadily with the Twitch bot. Not supported. Hey, no worries. I haven't figured out how to do Twitch and YouTube yet. I'm actually having some massive issues with my internet solutions, which is why I'm not going live as often as I would prefer. I have to be a lot more selective about it. So we got 5G home internet, which seemed a lot easier to set up than trying to get hardwired internet to our apartment, because we live in a shared apartment. 5G, just get a little box, face it out the window, you're good. And while it's a 5G connection, I'm gonna nerd out with you all for a minute. Like, download speed. First of all, with the internet, which you might not know, it's okay if you don't know this, typically your provider, whew, it's hot. I'm sweating my life away right now. You just like feel all the life exiting your body
incrementally from the humidity. But your provider gives you two kinds of data transfer. There is download, which sounds like, so if you download a file from Google Drive or try to stream a video on Netflix or YouTube, you're downloading, and there's a certain speed that your provider will give you. But then you also have upload, and upload is how quickly you can upload content to the internet. Like if you are on a Zoom call and you're uploading your audio and your video. We're gonna get into why my life is ruined with my current internet provider. Norman, you can geek out. So first of all, my download megabits per second, when I baselined it, it's not criminal, but it fluctuates between like 20 megabits per second and 60. 60 is pretty solid. And, you know, so that means Netflix and Disney Plus crap out sometimes. No biggie. It's not critical. But my upload, I kid you not, is like 1 or 2 megabits per second, like an order of magnitude smaller, which means uploading a short form piece of content can take 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes longer. Uploading a long form piece of content, like, you know, 2.5 gigs, 20-minute video, can take an hour and a half. And then, whoo, rolled my ankle. Noise. That's why we train our ankles. And we're a mile in, friends. So about 1 point, I don't know. But yeah, it sucks. And what's even worse is, like, because I'm doing consulting and trying to make connections, sell my services, provide value, work from home, hop on 6 a.m. Zooms, like, my upload speed's so terrible that, like, my camera craps out, I drop calls, and when you're making first impressions, that's a huge hit, huge devastating blow, right? So that's pretty terrible. You're starting up school tomorrow, woo! Hoping it'll be good. Last year wasn't that great. Oh, Eliza, I'm so sorry to hear that, friend. Hopefully you can make it a new year, find a new rhythm, maybe shift your friend base just subtly. And I mean, one of the hardest parts of life as you're growing up is, like, so much of our identity is established within the social circles we align ourselves with or aspire to align ourselves in. So, like, for me, I was like one of the smart kids. I was like ranked 12th in my graduating class, but I wasn't able to get into the cool nerds group, which were all the, you know, ranked 3rd, 1st, 5th. Like, they never made me one of their own. And at the same time, I played football, I ran track, but I was never full jock, never fully in the meathead space. Sports were something I did because I enjoyed it and they made me better, but I wasn't in pinnacle shape and I wasn't that successful at it. 1 second. So I was never accepted into the jock circle. So in high school, kind of a weird mix, didn't really fit, and just focused on grades and focused on getting out, found myself a wife. Like I married my high school sweetheart in college. So I made my in crowd her. There are certain codependencies and unhealthy aspects of that, but we worked through it. We got counsel. I've been married 12 years. That's a win. I had 4 kids, moved to Japan, made it work. So hopefully in this next school year, may recognize you don't have to perfectly fit with one group or another. And you don't need to be perfectly academic. You don't need to be perfect. Just go out there and be you. Enjoy the journey and strive for a level of contentment with who you are, who you're shaping up to be. You got time in your journey. Like in college, it still took me 2 to 3 years to really find my group or my tribe. And then I graduated. We moved to Cincinnati. And some people stay interconnected with their college friends. For us, we love our college friends. If we naturally cross paths with them, I think we'd pick up right where we left. Same with our high school friends. But we focus inward on building family and building community of families around us. And then, you know, when we moved to Japan, again, we had to break out, form a new group, connect into it. So I think you get more and more confidence with just your internal sense of identity and your ability to connect in with others. Whew, I'm dying, Eliza. Thank you for the conversation, as it keeps me from giving up. Brutal. I didn't have good friend base last year. Skipped school because I didn't study. But feeling last year, all because of them. We have a better one now. Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you know, even though I'm an engineer and I did great in high school, did great, well, did solid in college. I was a smaller fish in a much bigger pond for my undergraduate. Like, and then did my master's in global leadership. Like, I don't think your level of academic quote-unquote success is an indication of future success or what you're capable of. Like, sure, getting into a good college could change the trajectory of your life, but also so could hustling as a plumber or dedicating yourself to your craft, which is art, and just figuring out how to monetize that disproportionately better than your peers at scale, right? You can learn just as much from YouTube and putting in some work as you can from a 4-year degree or a master's degree. And I don't think it makes one person higher than another. I think the hard part is showing up with the best we can offer, even when we're waffling or struggling. Like, my freshman year of college was a huge struggle for me academically. The expectations were much higher than high school. Like I said, I felt like a smaller fish in a bigger pond. I lost my safety net. I was slightly under-equipped to know how to manage my stuff. You know, I hit classes like quantum mechanics, thermodynamics, and like all these really tricky topics that I couldn't immediately see an application for I didn't feel smart enough for, and I self-excluded. I disengaged, kind of withdrew a bit at my own detriment, you know. And then in college, we call it riding the curve. You go into exam, you know you're gonna get a D or an F, but then you're hoping that when they adjust the class's scores, it'll average you up to a C or a C minus, and you still pass through. I did a lot of that on certain challenging classes. And in some ways, it was a barrier for me, like, because of my GPA getting lower. In college, there was a rotational program in Johnson & Johnson I applied for, where you basically work for one operating company, say in New Jersey, work there a year and 3 months, rotate to another company, say Cincinnati, California, and you do 3 strategic rotations. And it's like, it's called the GOLD program, for Global Operational Leadership Development. And while I had a lot of strong recommendations from my Johnson & Johnson network when I was interning or co-oping there, they had a hard line requirement of a 3.2 on GPA, and I was a 3.16. Yeah, I was probably 1, maybe 2 classes away. And no matter how much I connected around the process to challenge that number, I couldn't get it. Everything was like an HR wall based on fairness to how they have the same bar for everybody, which I understand. But also, like, when you're creating a role and hiring for it, if you're looking at it from an equitable perspective, you can't assume that everybody jumps over all of the same bars with the same level of quality, and one person just has the fullest marks and you hire that one. Hiring's a lot more subjective than that. Humans are adaptable creatures, and just because somebody, for instance, interviews well or has a resume that sits higher, it's not an indication of their future potential or success. So hopefully Eliza pulls back the curtain a little bit on the real world and just empowers you to show up for yourself this year, to stay hopeful, to be diligent, to make incremental improvement, and just trust that your future opportunities will expand to meet the work you put in today. I don't know, is that inspirational? Is that helpful? I'm just an engineer running in Tokyo, so no worries if not. All right. Well, I can say these new shoes, they're holding up well. I think I'm tired just because I'm tired. Like, it's 4:20 in the morning. We naturally woke up a little earlier than planned. Our form isn't perfectly symmetric, and we're still learning how to run in a new style of shoe. I think holistically it's going pretty good. Now, on that side of the river, which I know it's a little tricky to see because it's still nighttime, that's Kawasaki, and it's part of Kanagawa Prefecture. We're gonna run across that blue bridge, and that'll take us to the mile 6 marker. I think we're gonna start stepping up our distance in preparation for our half marathon. Originally I was thinking 4. We already blew past 4, so let's test ourselves. Let's see what we're capable of today. I'm gonna hit a gooey packet, which means I'm gonna put chat in my pocket in a second, maybe. These gooey packets are disgusting. They are literally absolutely the worst. I'm gonna leave it up to random chance. We have 3. Let's see what it is. It could be caramel, could be mixed berry. Either way, nasty. Oh god, it's chocolate outrage. I hate chocolate. It's literally, that was the worst possible pull that I could have grabbed. Let's tear this thing with our teeth. I'm gonna try to hold my pace and eat this disgusting energy packet and talk. Lovely. Thanks, Norman. Terrible. This chocolate outrage is an outrage, let me tell you. Not for a good reason. Gross. Breathing. Almost done. Yay. Let's keep rolling. Doing good, friends. And hey, thanks for liking the live today. Thanks for engaging the comments. Thanks for the good conversation. It helps me plunk along and stay committed to the journey. You know, I have a t-shirt. Oh, I should have connected it to today's live. I forgot to. It says running is fun when it's done. And I firmly believe that. It does not say running is fun right now. Running is fun when you wake up and resolve to go for a run. Running is fun when you drink your pre-workout. Running is fun when you put on your shoes or travel across Tokyo to get to your start point. Running is fun when your back and hips and legs and shoulders are sore. Running is fun when your breathing's irregular. Running is fun when that chocolate outrage gooey packet coats the back of your throat and burns based on some undisclosed chemical that's giving you cancer. None of those things. That last one's a little extreme. I don't think that's true. But none of those things are fun or pleasurable. But pressing through, pressing on to the final stage, pressing on to completion, and kind of delighting in the fact that you did show up for yourself and challenge yourself. When you pass the finish line, oh, that's fun. Everything down the stream of the work is fun, assuming you're running in a way that's challenging but safe. Also, friends, I got a data warning. So, in the event the live dies, I'm sorry. It'd be because of Wi-Fi. Although, don't give up on me. If the stream ever dies, I commit to 1, sometimes 2 reboot attempts. And it'll either reboot the existing stream we're on, or a new one will be posted on our channel if you obnoxiously refresh quite a few times. It's nice at pre-sunrise on this bridge though. It's pretty. And you could find moments of joy, moments of like, oh, it's pretty cool, well done. But I just like to also establish, you know, demotivating expectations. Fitness for me has never come easy. It still doesn't come easy. And I'm on day 438 of my personal journey. I got a whole host of problems and challenges I navigate in order to show up and do these runs. But I do know that by making myself do things that are challenging and hard and uncomfortable, it unlocks and enables different capabilities in different contexts. When you have a strong body, it can lead to a stronger mind. And I do everything I can to make fitness accessible to others, mainly because I've been there. I mean, 400 and something days later, I'm still 300 pounds because my main success metric hasn't been weight, it's been strength, it's been distance. I have lost a reasonable amount of fat. I haven't measured it, I can just feel it. My starting point, my 0 point, ooh, I almost died, is different than when I started. But that's why when I made the DadBod half marathon training program, I started it at day 0. And I complained every single workout so you would know just how uncomfy it was. But then if you come into our channel, you know, 438 days later, 800 days later, 1,000 days later, and you see someone who can run farther, faster, lift heavier weights than you, it gives you just realistic expectations. You can show up for you on day 1. Eating, breathing, running sounds tough. It's impossible. Definitely challenging ourselves here. We're definitely feeling the work. We have different soreness, but we're gonna plunk along. I'm gonna try to get out to 6 miles, which is just shy of a 10K. I believe a 3K, or sorry, I believe a 5K is, what is that? 3.06? Is it more than that? It's like just past 3 miles. Now, my base is wonky, my form is wonky. Let me do some Wim Hof breathing just to kind of reset as we get closer to halfway. So Wim Hof breathing is 2 forceful exhales with a pause, and 1 forceful exhale. 2 forceful inhales. Because that was with a pause, and then 1 forceful exhale, and you repeat. I'll try to do 10, and I'll slowly space out the distance between each breath. Here we go. tiny bit. Whatever. Now I do want to stop off here and drink water. Water is good for you. You should drink it. That said, I think more importantly, I need to work on holding pace, controlling breathing, even though I don't want to, and powering up that hill. Because if I get over the hill, then I'll already be at 3.5 miles down, 2.5 to go. And if I take a water break, it's gonna be a little bit easier to keep plunking along. Oh, come on. Let's do another 10 as we try to climb this terrible hill. I'm gonna try to keep my core snug. Slight forward lean. Keep my feet landing under me. Rushing it. I can already tell I want to be done. If I hit this pace too fast, I'll be burned at the top. So, gotta slow down on purpose. Gotta embrace the suck. In Japanese, we could say shogunai, which is like, it is what it is. It can't be helped. We just have to endure through it. Come on. I don't even want to optimistically say halfway, because the other hill's a little longer. Lean, lean, lean. Core. Running, in my opinion, it's all core and back. Sure, legs are important. Breathing's important. But efficient posture. Posture's everything. It's all important. Like right now, breathing. Breathing is absolutely a tool that I'm using, because the level of suck right now is at 10. This run feels enduringly long, challenging, unending. So we gotta keep plunking along. Stay engaged. Don't give up. Stay committed. You are doing well. Are you sure? Wouldn't it be far more comfortable if we just stopped and waited for the sunrise to come over that city skyline? I mean, you're an artist, right? Get everything following with the rule of thirds, with the composition of city, bridge, sun. Just stand here, relax for 20, 30 minutes. That's not too late, not too long to wait for a beautiful moment. Then let our body lock out, take a cab home. We still ran a 5K, still did 3 miles. That's great, right? Call that success. But we know it's better. We know that it's even more beautiful when you can see Mount Fuji on a clear day with the sun rising at our back with only Yeah, 1 mile left in the journey. So, and on another day, we'll catch the perfect shot, right? Hey, gonna die. Here we go. Breathe. Now our pace is picking up, partially because we're becoming impatient. I will permit it for the downhill, but that gravel road has a slight incline. So I'm gonna do another round of 10 Wim Hof breaths at the start of that gravel road, just to kind of stay in it, reset the breath, and press forward. Also, that gravel road is mile marker 2.5 from the start. We ran past it to hit mile 3 under that bridge, ran back to it, which gives us a bonus mile basically. So we'll be at 3.5 out of 6. And I'd like to keep the momentum and the energy as we press on towards the 2 mile marker, which gets us to 4. Easy, easy math, friends. Sesame Street. I'm such a fan of line runs. We're dying. We're dying. It's over. This is the end. Once we hit that gravel, we'll stop. We'll walk. We'll call a cab. Maybe even an ambulance. Maybe a stretcher will take us home. Oh, we could suck it up and take a deep breath on this turn. Right here. Here we go. Two more, and the last one will slow down. 4, 9, and settle into it. So I'm just subtly trying to bring my pace down, keep my pace kind of bouncy, shorten my stride, try to drive some of the impatience out of it. Friends, I'm talking a lot about the run and the mechanics because nobody's going to tell me. I know all these things. I have the knowledge at this point. But the money isn't in the knowledge. It's in the application. That's the wisdom, right? And when you speak words of wisdom over yourself, it can lead you to emulate what you believe to be. The reality is, right now, my body is sore right now. We have far longer left in this run than we desire. But wisdom says, just keep taking good steps. Oh, how good that was. Just keep leaning forward. Just keep being patient. Just keep kicking your legs back. Just keep landing soft. Just keep breathing. Just keep ignoring where your future capability will be in half a mile or a mile, and run this half a mile or this quarter of a mile or this eighth of a mile within your present capability, because otherwise we just get locked in these doom loops. I mean, look at this, friends. We got the sun at our back. And when we get up to that tree line, which in all seriousness really isn't that far away, that's our 2-mile marker from where we started. Well, we ran out to a 3-mile marker. 3 plus 1 is 4. That would be 4 miles in at a fairly steady pace with good conversation, good breathing. And that marker isn't a tap yourself on the back and walk marker. It might be, but we don't need to think about that. We don't need to forecast the rhythm, intensity, and form that we're gonna run with at mile 4. Let's just get to it. But as we get very close, we do need to establish success from mile 4 to mile 4.1 or mile 4.25. Because otherwise, if we let comfort take the wheel, we'll be done right there. Now, sometimes walking is still a tool we can use. It takes the intensity out, like the impact. And I use it all the time in different capacities. And I never shame on walking. My program starts by training you to walk a 5K, which is a massive, massive accomplishment in itself. Look at that was. Whew. All right. When we get to the bullpen up there, we'll hit a gooey packet. We desperately, desperately want to walk right now, so I'll see if I can energy boost past it, and if not, we'll walk fast. It is not by any definition a necessity. It's literally just in the I want to space, and that happens on different workouts. But let's see, maybe we can blow past it, right? Luckily I got community. Community is everything. You know, I keep checking my phone and I see like, oh man, there's 3 people here. All right, let's go. How because I was 3 people here. You know, it's at this point 4:55. We've been at this for pushing an hour. Let's keep plunking along. Let's see what we can do. So, friends, we've hit 4.1 miles. Means we got exactly 2 miles left. We got about 6K in the bag. Let me hit a gooey packet. Let me try to breathe as I do this. And again, every impulse is walk. Let me stay committed. Got caramel today. Yuck. Here we go, bottoms up. Keep working on this nasty packet. Disgusting. Okay. So we're struggling, we're sore. So we got 10 more breaths coming up. Here we go, you ready? We'll start at the white post because there's a little bit of a hill. We're gonna try to breathe through 10 and trust that that's gonna take us out to 4.25. And we'll figure it from there. Here we go. It's 5. Seven. 8. Let's keep breathing to the white marker. One more. Lean forward, core tucked, shorten the pace. Just shortening my stride, picking my feet up less. Okay, that was. And one of the big things, trying to stay forward leaning. Oh, God. Trying to stay in the thick of it. It's funny, my headspace right now is like, oh, it's just 'cause it's August. It's like, it's literally nothing more than inadequate water. And it's late, or it's early in the morning. So I definitely don't want to pass out on this course. Hey, 4.5 miles. Let's walk. While we walk, we're gonna work on form, reset breathing. We'll decide if we get back in. Now, I could give you a rationale and all the things leading to that decision, but none of that's. So let's just say 4.5 miles, kick ass. Right? Woke up at 3:15, started at 4, hit 4.5 miles at a very strong pace. Kick ass. This last mile and a half, we'll make it. How's that one? Yeah. Shout out to Oji-san, waking up early, riding his bike while he's smoking. Hey man, at least he's riding his bike, right? Whew. But our legs are a little wobbly. Our hips aren't pulling symmetrically. They're close, but they're not quite there. So right now I'm trying to work on every step, landing each foot the same distance from the other, and getting my core and back re-engaged slight lean forward, activating my hip flexors when I pull my body over the front leading leg. Squeeze the glute a little bit, not too much. Don't want it to be too tight. Roll my shoulders down and back. Breathe. And friends, we're still out here burning calories. And there's our water spigot, our fountain of life. And we'll see what we do after that. But if you've been rocking a couch and a desk job and you haven't been out on your body running, I say this as humbly as possible, like, there's zero reason why you should compare yourself to me. I'm 300 pounds, 6'3", but you know, I deadlift 120 kilos, which isn't anything crazy impressive. And I work core 3 times a week. I run about 10 miles a week, often more. So I'm conditioned for this, and you're probably not. Well, that's okay. Your day zero is going to look different. Go for a walk. Go walk half a mile. Get a little swing and stop. Oh my God. Maybe I'm at that stage in life. Oh look, we found a sunrise. We earned it. Hey. I think we're in replenish mode, friends, which means we're gonna hit off at every water spigot we see. That's the current plan. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not at zero, but it definitely equalized some factors. Maybe I should have stopped off at the first one. I was worried about losing pace, but we lost pace. Right. There's Mount Fuji. It's hard to see. It's a very faint shadow behind that tree. Oh man. So we're probably at 4.6. So we want to check, it won't motivate us. Oh, 4.75. Which means, friends, in this journey we only have 1.25 miles left. So let me equalize a little bit. We'll see if we can re-engage. Again, it's within our capability to run a little bit more today. Is it within our desires? Absolutely not. But I do want to get home before 6 so I can train my wife. I'm Felicia's coach. I got DadBod, which is what you're experiencing privately. She's working on MomBod, trying to find new vitality after 4 kids in her early 30s. So we're gonna see where we can take her. Every wake up, every workout's a struggle for her. There's a lot she's navigating. So it takes a mixture for me as a husband of persistence and patience. And those two are often in conflict with one another. Discerning when I can push and help her unlock something she didn't know she could do, and when I have to pull back and trust her long-term game versus her short-term gains, right? And I think everybody has that same struggle. Establishing success is 3 workouts and then moving on to the next one. All right. How gozaimasu. Now our battery may make it to the end of mile marker 7 or 6. If it doesn't, for speed, because I'll be so close to the finish, I'll just try to go live on my phone, see if that works. Now, if I'm having data issues, then I won't do that. Now, if I ran 6 miles cleanly the whole time, the battery can typically make it 6.3. With the walks and water breaks, a little bit less likely. It'll probably interrupt me on my hero speech. I always end with a nice hero speech. All right, we're gonna hit 3 deadlifts, 3 squats, get our form, and go. So, here comes our deadlift. Ho, squat, deadlift, squeeze through, squat, one more, deadlift, squat, squeeze through, tuck core, lean forward, mellow. I'm gonna try to keep this literally as low and slow as physically possible. Easy bake oven, that's the speed we're going for right now. Reason being, and it's like I instantly feel a cardio load already. Reason being is if we try to snap into the pace that we were running at, our body would like instantly reject the journey. Someone's gotta fix their brakes. Our body would instantly reject the journey. We would stall out. And that'd be the end of today's run. But if we start mellow and commit to ourselves, maybe we could pick it up. We'll see. Kawaii. We are losing our pants a little bit on the left side. All right, keep bouncing, keep our feet under us, shoulders rolled back, stomach braced like we're getting punched. All these form cues. This is like typically the 1.1 marker and the 1 mile marker. Yep. So right now, friends, we are mile 5 on the dot. This is originally our 1 mile marker from where we start, but we ran past it. And here, let's do retrospective sense making. Maybe that can keep me in this hell of a workout. So if you've never done this before, maybe this is something that just I do because I'm slightly mental. Running long distances is unbearably difficult on certain days. Is I like to do what I call retrospective sense making. And what this is, on the back end of a workout, when you're just dying and you don't want to do it anymore and you need some level of engaged dissociation, which seems like a paradox, but sometimes to get through you need to run suboptimally and just ghost yourself for a couple seconds, couple minutes, and get back in. I used to do this when I would run the mile in track, and I would typically do it on what we call the third lap, which is just a third lap. I don't know why I tried to make that sound dramatic or important. A mile in track is just 1,600 meters. How is that much? Oh yeah, let's go. See, what's masterful? That guy, he can go. You can tell. He can just get out on the trail and go. But if you look at his form, his knees are barely going past his center of mass. He's only kicking backwards. And his feet are landing just under or slightly behind his center of mass. Very gradual but intentional tilt. Limited arm movement. Upright chest. Oh, pinnacle posture. Beautiful. But anyway, in the third lap, that was motivating for me. To be passed by Oji-san, always a privilege. Always a wonder. Wondering if someday I will be the Oji-san. Let's breathe. We're still in it. So, on the third lap, I would argue the third lap of a run out of 4 laps on a mile is the hardest. And here's my rationale. When you run a race, there's a lot of people next to you. If you're bigger and slower, they're not going to be next to you very long. Sometimes they even lap you. It's exciting for them. I pull the faster. But the first mile, you got a full tank of gas. Sure, you might have went for a jog to warm up, but like holistically, you're in the journey. You're gonna push. You got the energy of the people around you, and you are trying to resolve to push forward regardless of what comes next. Can we do these stairs? We're Peter, so slow. No. Just even that slight incline. Oh, my heart is like, nope. Whew, use the rail. It's okay. We're dehydrated. There's water coming up. We're gonna walk to it. Oh, frick. All right. Woo! Woo! So, breathe. There's our sunrise. We earned it. I'm gonna tighten my pants. But the first mile, or the first lap, do you feel me fading? I'm not passing out on YouTube, although it'd probably be a great viral TikTok, but not a virality I'm looking for, friends. All right. Let's grab our phone again. We got an excessive heat warning. That's always fun. We're at 5.4 miles, 0.7 to go. Waters are on the bend. But what I was saying, that first lap, which is 400 meters, you typically have good energy. And what's tricky, what I found for me, certain people, they can just like lock it in. There are certain people that just knew how to push themselves to the edge of an ungodly speed. And I always had immense respect for them. By the way, friends, my internet's fallen off on my phone, so in the event you're still chatting and saying hello, thank you. There's a chance YouTube won't show it to me when I reload, but know that I know you. Ooh, that hill. It was literally 2 steps of incline heading towards the stairs. My body was like, hard no. All right, turn on my comments. It's quiet uptown. It's funny, the last I tried to psych myself into running, pushing past some barriers, and I keep hitting some walls. So I don't know if I'm coming out a little bit too quick if I'm losing the grit, resolve to keep going. But I think it's literally just hydration. And I'm not used to run, stop, drink. Like, I haven't done that in a while. I get impatient with progress. I want to find a rhythm and lock it. I like on half marathon, they hand you the cups and you can like keep running, grab the cup, have half the water spill out, try to throw it into your mouth, have another half the water spill out, choke, struggle to breathe, and then just stop anyway and grab another cup of water and then go. It's my favorite. But anyway, that first lap, you got a lot of momentum, and it's weird though, because for me, there's people that could just get out and set a pace, crush and kill. For me, every step was a journey, right? So physically running away from a line that you then have to run back towards and past and away from and back towards and past, like, even though it breaks the run up, I would feel every approach and every exit from that line differently. Like, for the first one, you have the adrenaline and the energy, and you have the uninformed optimism of like, we can do this. We trained really hard this week. We're gonna run good. Like, that's the mind. We never had to, we're gonna win, because we never ran fast enough to win. Gotta cool that water off. Here we go. Ugh, now I feel bloated. The worst. So anyway, you start off, you got this optimism, we're gonna do good. And then as you approach the start of your second lap, oh my gosh, this fits perfectly with Horzomi. As you approach the second lap, like the start of your second lap, the end of your first lap, you have this informed pessimism of like, you know the pain, you know the pace, how the pace feels, you know the breathing, you know the heat, you know the sweat. And you're like, huh, this isn't as fun as I thought it would be. Huh, this is really, really hard. And then as you finish your second lap and are turning the corner past that line on your third lap, for me, it is always the valley of despair. It is like, this is unbearably difficult. This is a great mistake. I'm too fat. Why am I running long distance? I'm a lineman for football. It's like, let's get this spectacle going again, you know? And all the self-doubt, all the lament, it all hits. Valley of despair. And that's where retrospective sense making makes sense, which we're going to do in a minute. But as you cross the line, coming out of your third lap into your fourth one, even though you can't see the finish line, you have, as Horzomi says, like, informed optimism of like, all right, we've pushed ourselves beyond what we can do. There's less left than where we started. You can see daylight, like you start to perceive that there is an end in sight. You start to re-engage and re-own the journey, and be proud of yourself for training and showing up and pushing. Even if you don't hit the time you intended, you did it. Normally for me, I'd get a standing ovation because, like I said, I'm a big guy. Folks are running their miles around 5 minutes or less. Maybe not less. I forgot how fast a good mile is. You know, and I'm coming in at like 6:37, 7, which was killer fast back then for me. Now I float some nice cool 10s. Oh, here we go. Tuck the core, squeeze the butt. Oh, 20% battery life. Oh no. We're almost there, friends. We're at, where are we at? 5.73 miles of 6. It still counts. I'm gonna say it's hydration. I gotta figure something out. Because if I could fuel while I went, I'd go a little farther, I think. Oh my God, so many stairs. And there's a hill at the top of this too. Valley Despair. Oh. Oh. Some OG son comes up like, "You're okay?" Like, "Yeah. Daijobu. Ikimashou. Let's go. I'm okay. Let's go." Breathe. Open your chest. Lean forward. Drive. Drive. So, retrospective sense making for me is looking back at everything we did until it connects to where we are to give us a better sense of where we can go or what we can push off to next. So, for instance, for today's run, if I'm really beat down on this last 0.25 miles, which I am, I need to dissociate from the discomfort, but stay loosely engaged, keep tracking forward. So I'll start retrospective sense making, which is like, you know, we stayed up a little bit late last night planning out what our week looked like, aligning with our wife. But when we got to bed, we fell straight asleep and we woke up naturally at 3:15, which was a bit of a surprise. And while we were tempted to go downstairs and pass out on the couch until 4, we kind of had this resolve that, hey, if we try to take a 45-minute snooze, we're not going to get up. We're going to wake up at 5:45, and then we're not going to be able to get out and get a good long run in on our new shoes. I'm going to miss my kids' wake-up routine and feeding them breakfast, and I'm not going to be able to challenge and push my wife as her coach because I got to get her out of bed at 6 and help her work out, help her get hers, right? So just that little string, we're not even to where we are right now, is helping frame a mindset of progress and look at how far we've come, right? And then from there I'll be like, you know, the night before we had prepped our GUI packets and our GoPro and our outfit and our batteries and our wireless Wi-Fi dongle so that we're able to just throw a scoop of our energy drink and some water, drink up, throw everything in our pocket, hop on a bike, get to the starting point. When we get to the starting point, there's like a convenience store we go to the bathroom to. It's like we're able to go to the bathroom and not fall asleep in the bathroom or pass out or aimless tubes mind with distraction and crap. We read a little scripture and stayed focused. We got our Devo in. We started to have an expectation that there would be someone we could talk to and connect with today on the run. We started to orient ourselves towards progress. We decided instead of going out and doing 4 miles, we'd push for 6, which we're gonna finish. And we went to the starting point, got everything set up and hit go at 4 a.m., which is an incredibly clean start. So during all this time, I've already walked 0.1 miles. Okay? Oh, let's run it. Whew. And then from there we could be like, so we started running. We ran past the fancy houses. We ran up to this overpass, ran over it and back down it, ran towards the rock garden, down the epic stairs, along the river, through a couple more subdivisions, over the road, down to the 1 mile marker. And we felt pretty strong. Felt like we had a good pace. We were happy with our shoe purchase that we had made at the time. And then we just kept plunking along. We ran past the fields. We made it to the baseball court. We had a good chat with Elijah and Lucius, or Norman. And honestly, the conversation kept us in the journey, kept us moving. The big bridge, we pushed past it. We breathed, we climbed the hill, went over the bridge, ran on the bridge, ran out to the 3 mile marker and said, hey, you know what, we could stop, we could get water right now, but we were having a pretty good rhythm, so we turned it back, we breathed, ran up that hill, ran across the hill, and we committed to lock in pace, which we can debate that decision based on hydration, right? We learned. But we ran down the hill, did some power breathing on the gravel, pushed past the 2.5 mile mark, which at that point got us to 3.5, and decided, hey, let's stay strong. Let's keep plunking along past some water at the 2 mile marker, which had gotten us to 5. Kept going, hit the 4.5 mark, stopped for water, hit some walking, was super dehydrated, but kept plunking along. We walked until we hit the 1 mile remaining marker. Tried to jog a little bit, got back into a rhythm, talked about retrospective sense making. And then we tried to run up the first flight of stairs, petered out. We hit that hill, walked, climbed the stairs, walked over the stairs, walked along the river through a subdivision, hit that final narrow water fountain, refueled the best we could, started retrospective sense making, where we started talking about when we woke up the night, see how you could loop it, and then ran over the bridge to the overpass, picked back up our pace, like retrospective sense making got us back on the journey, and lo and behold, we hit 6.1 miles. And that, friends, that's a good workout. That's a hard fought workout. And in your journey, there's gonna be times where you push yourself, you talk to yourself, and you can progress forward. And there are other times where your body's like, no. And that's always a negotiation. It's never a final destination. I don't believe there's a perfect workout. Right, maybe if you're an elite athlete and you know your exact threshold on weight, endurance, but an athlete shows up every day regardless of how they feel, and they get what they can. And I think that's the mindset I try to carry as well today in new shoes with an injured foot and a volatile core and a lot of heat. We got a messy 6 miles. But you know what 6 miles is more than? 0. And that's where we all start. Your mom, you made it just to the end of the workout, bud. How's it going? Dude, I got so much to catch you up on, but I can't do it right now because I gotta go train Felicia. But if you want to know where we're going with aFamilyFrenzy this evening, so in about, I don't know, 12 hours, maybe 14 hours, another long form video should post if you click the little bell ding-a-ling. Is it hot for you? It's so hot. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it's like 32 degrees Celsius or something blasphemous. But yeah, tonight there's a little premiere. I've been trying to post my sprint planning and sprint retrospective so you can see exactly what I'm working